Clouds are a way of looking at the sky. They're a kind of lens with which you see the sky. So you scan the sky and see the clouds. And so really it's about light, of course. Well, the project's called Atmosphere. It comes from an extraordinary line in a letter of Turner's where he says, "Atmosphere is my style." And it's an extraordinary kind of cogent, powerful, Turnery way of saying that actually nothing else mattered to him but the weather.
It's Monday 24th of March. It's the first day of the installation of Edmund de Waal's Atmosphere. We have got currently stage 1 on site at the moment, who are installing the grid which is going to be used to suspend the vitrines.
When I was invited to come and work here, I was really conscious that there was this sort of, how do you get the weather into the building? How can you be in this building and not be completely conscious of the rain and the wind and the sunshine and the endless movement of light? So what do you want to do? Well, obviously, ridiculously, the thing to do is to make cloudscapes, make things which are above you, so you meet them only by looking up. To make something that is suspended safely above lots of people is a very complicated business. Atmosphere is 9 vitrines suspended in the Sunley Gallery for a year. And those 9 vitrines, one is completely clear, you can see absolutely everything in it, and 4 are semi-opaque and 4 are very opaque. So they have different levels of opacity. Well done. Oh, wow. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. Look at that. Happy doesn't get there. That's absolutely incredible. It floats. That's miraculous. The complete joy for me is working in really interesting spaces. Is to try and work out sort of how little you have to do in a space to make it sound differently. It's much more kind of interesting to kind of just take the temperature of a building, look at people walking through it, moving through it, and begin to get a sense of the sort of DNA of the building, and then work with it or against it, but work in some real relationship with it. This piece is called Bauspiel, and Bauspiel is the name of the building blocks. It means playing with architecture, playing with buildings. Everything else is going to be up and away, skying above you, and to have something which is at sort of a children's height, at a person height, is very important to me.
So the studio assistants are preparing the vitrines and cleaning them on the ground, getting all the vessels out ready, and then one of the studio assistants, once the vitrine's hung, is going up in the lift with the technicians so they can place everything while it's in position, clean it up there, seal it up.
What I do is I make pots in series. quite considerable numbers of pots, all out of porcelain. They're very sort of austere and quite simple. And then I bring them together in masses or in single, and then try and kind of make spaces between them. So pull them into groups and pull them into phrases and sentences and rhythms. Obviously, because I'm both a writer and an artist, there are very strong resonances for me between putting an object down and another object, and putting a word down on a page and then another word. So there's an awful lot of sort of echo with poetry, with fragmentary prose. So, you know, they are pots in glass cases up in the sky, but they're also a series of words and phrases which are sort of just hanging in the air.
Edmund's writing a horizon line of his own, of handwritten text that will run through the centre of the wall display. Edmund's got very characterful, scrawly writing, so I just really hope people can read it.
You make a list of the clouds and the winds and you name them. Anemoi, you write, and the Boreas, Stackencloud and Twaincloud and Cirrus and Stratus and Nimbus. But the wind changes. You put it below you and walk across, or near books or food or family or. But you want to see the clouds and the wind them against a sky near the sea or on a window that catches each breath of the day, and you say, this is my style, this is my atmosphere. Okay, that is my first ever wall piece. It's taken almost a year, more than a year, of incredibly kind of complicated discussion and thinking through and conversation. You know, you saw that moment when actually everyone walked away from the first one and it was hanging in space, and it's just like, it works. You know. The hope is that all that complexity falls away. It's the wrong phrase to use, isn't it? All that complexity disappears and you have something which floats.